ChatGPT is definitely a game changer for literally all the industries on Earth. There's already a lot of discussions around job securities, especially for those creative jobs, such as cloud architects and engineers. But on the flip side, I want to explore the opportunity and collaboration between the human being and AI. So in this video, I will walk you through a scenario for how a junior cloud engineer can use the ChatGPT to solve a real-world operation problems on AWS. Now let's look into it. The story here is about a small startup where they're running their applications and the e-commerce website on AWS. And the website here showing the architecture basically is a multiple tier of the application based on the EC2 instance. Everything operating all good until one day there's a service event impacting the networking service from AWS. That's why the net gateway, which is manage the service from AWS, just being brought down. The whole impact is that your user cannot log into your applications for a couple hours, and then you got notified because many of them started to complain via the Twitter, and your boss and the other management team also got involved, and then they ask you the question: how can we get notified in a more timely manner so you can respond to those service events much more quicker? Either you would switch over to the other available region, or you would use the other backup service to support your users. So now we are on the ChatGPT website and we start to ask some open questions given we are not familiar with the method that can support our goal, right? Which is to retrieve those health status for AWS service. So let's try to ask some open questions to start with. How to quickly retrieve AWS Health status data. Let's see how would it respond. Alright, so we got the response, which is awesome. It provides step-by-step instructions. So the first step is go to Management Console and then you can use the Health Dashboard. It seems like it's a manual process. And second method is that it seems like we can use the Health API, which looks quite suitable for our use cases because we try to programmatically retrieve those data. And we can also use the other method, which is the health notifications and the CloudWatch event. Now let's keep on asking because we try to retrieve those health status automatically via the Health API. So let's ask how to use Lambda function to retrieve the active AWS Health status data and store it in a S3 bucket. Let's see. And it starts to provide some of the recommendation. Firstly, create a Lambda function, sign into the console. And we can use different coding language, Python, Node.js. In this case, I would prefer Python. So, okay, it already provided Python recommendations. Does it provide a code? If not, then that will be something I would keep on asking. So now it just still keep on providing the recommendation from the end-to-end perspective. After we have the code, we need to test deployed functions, schedule the functions, all of that. Cool, it's really in detail level. Then I'll keep on asking, can you provide the Python code for the above Lambda function? So pretty much we utilize the previous context, and ChatGPT is smart enough to support that. Now we can see it start to write down the Python code. We can see because we need to use the Bottle 3 and then use the Bottle 3 client called the Health API. And here, because we ask the active service event, that would be our focus. So that's why here it just use the open to filter out all the event status. And then it also used the Bottle 3 to interact with the S3 and then to store the data here in the JSON format. Awesome. I think we're pretty much good to go. And one thing is still being missing is the IAM permission. So I would ask, can you provide the IAM policy JSON code for the above Lambda function. Yes. Here is the example, right? And again, here we assume the engineer already have some preliminary information and knowledge around the IAM. So he or she can utilize this policy JSON code and then to define the role accordingly. Great. Pretty much I think we are good to go. Let's try to switch back to our AWS console and then to start to testing everything that the ChatGPT just shared with us. So now we've switched back to the AWS console, and now we are on the Lambda function code, and we copy the code from the GDP and then to our console. And also we have spin up a IAM role with the recommendation from ChatGPT, and now we can do a test to see how it goes here, and then we can find it succeed, and then with the feedback here, AWS Health event data retrieved and stored in S3. And if we go to the S3 bucket that we created, let's see the object. We can do a refresh. We just test a couple times. Now there's a folder here, and we click into the folder. We should be able to see a couple JSON file here. Yes. So this is a JSON object that we just download. We can try to download this object and then to verify if that's what we need. Just download it. For easy reading, I just pass this JSON file in this website, and you can see all this health data has been listed correctly here, which verify the Lambda functions and the IAM policy code provided by ChatGPT actually worked. So this summarizes our demo today. We use the ChatGPT to go through a real-world scenario, and then to help you understand how to use the ChatGPT to generate those Python code and the IAM policy automatically, and then to use our environment to validate. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you find it useful, please give it a like, and you're welcome to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.